One of the single most important aspects of marketing a SaaS product is positioning. Positioning is the foundation of your marketing communications, and there is a lot of disagreement about what positioning means because people use the term differently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very specific definition that I use based on my experience with an MBA, my experience working for numerous SaaS companies. So positioning classically you think of in the consumer packaged goods space. And basically what it means is the psychological place that a brand holds in the minds of a consumer. Now, in SaaS, I don't typically think of positioning that way. Yes, there's an element of that, but really we're talking about product positioning. So positioning for me is basically deciding what gets emphasized in your marketing communications. Now, a lot of people think positioning is strategy, but I think of strategy as something different. Strategy for me is deciding at a higher level what target market you're going to participate in and how you create value in that market. Positioning, on the other hand, is related to strategy, but it's a bit different. It's a little more tactical. It gets down more to specifically what you do in your copywriting and what you emphasize. So what is it that you're emphasizing? Typically, it's going to be a variety of things, often boiling down to perhaps the primary benefit that you offer, the primary use case. It could be a few benefits, maybe like 3 benefits. Sometimes it's just the product category. So for example, if you're the first SaaS company to provide a software solution that does X, then your positioning may just be, we are this category. We own this generic position. Positioning could be related to the category. It could also be related to features. So you don't necessarily need to position a product around benefits or kind of high value type of things. It can be more at the functional level. And I'm going to talk about that in more detail later. So basically it's deciding what gets emphasized in your messaging after you've set the marketing strategy. And what I'm going to do first is talk about some common mistakes that I see in positioning, specifically in the SaaS space. So the first example is coming to us from McKinsey & Company. So if you don't know McKinsey, they're the top management consultancy in the world that the largest Fortune 500 companies, etc., turn to when they have big strategic issues. So what we see here is a quotation. Marketers tend to build campaigns around emotional positioning, yet we found that consumers actually tend to talk and generate buzz about functional messages. So this is coming to us from some research that McKinsey did on word of mouth marketing. And some of you may know word of mouth marketing is basically the most efficient marketing you can do, because if people are talking about your product, you don't need to pay for advertising. You just need to kind of spark that discussion, and then it cascades virally. So marketers, when they're marketing something like cosmetics or other consumer products, they think, okay, we're going to talk about how you're liberating yourself, you're building your self-esteem, you're building your confidence, kind of this high-level emotional stuff. But even in cases like that, they're finding that when you talk about functional messages, when you talk about things like product ingredients and what the product actually does, you have a much bigger marketing impact. So if that's true with something like cosmetics, where you think that emotional messaging would work, just think about SaaS. Okay, SaaS is very far removed from that. Okay, we're talking about very functional benefits. We're talking about technical integrations. We're talking about things that automate, that speed things up. So it's going to be even more true with SaaS. So this is one of the biggest mistakes I see with SaaS companies is they're insecure about talking about their functional benefits, about the kind of down-to-earth achievements that the product takes, and they think they need to kind of level up and say, oh, we're gonna we're going to make you feel more free, or we're going to help you grow, we're going to help you make lots more money. These are very kind of high level things. Often what I tell SaaS companies is they need to move down to talk to customers in a way that they actually care about, and often that is more functional, it's more tactical, it's more tangible. And we're going to go through some specific examples of that to highlight what I mean.